Hi, everyone. Welcome to the final webinar for this course. I hope you've all had a productive week so far. And can you believe how fast the time has flown by? It's kind of a bittersweet moment getting to the end like this, but we're not quite done yet. Since we started in week one, you've been taking in a lot of information and gaining more knowledge about what social entrepreneurship is, what it looks like in the real world, the challenges and opportunities that come with it, and how you can advance social innovation within your institution, as well as how to make a pitch and present your idea, how to leverage shared value, and create win-win situations as you work towards making more health in the world. I must say, I've really enjoyed reading through your assignments from modules 4 and 5, and so many of them are of such high quality. Many of you have also received great feedback from both facilitators and learners, which I hope has been really useful to you. And if you haven't submitted your assignment yet, I encourage you to get that done as soon as you can for both modules. Now, Module 6 has been all about reviewing what you've learned throughout the past few weeks and also planning for your next steps. So to help us wrap everything up today, we have not one, but two guest experts. They are Manuela Pastore and Marina Diaz. Manuela is the global lead for Making More Health initiative at Boehringer Ingelheim. She joined BI in 1997, where she focused on digital communications and marketing activities until 2013, when she then became the global lead for Making More Health. Using disruption as a key tool, Manuela has created a social entrepreneurial movement inside BI that leads to system-changing thinking and acting in daily business. Marina is the head of communications at Boehringer Ingelheim in Argentina. She has managed some of the Making More Health programs in Latin America, connecting local and global knowledge to improve the health of individuals and communities. Seeing Making More Health as an architect of health focusing on relational entities, Manuela and Marina both co-create closely with local stakeholders and NGOs, companies, and social entrepreneurs to implement holistic solutions for making more health happen. Ladies, it's such an honor to have both of you with us here today.
Thank you so much, Sharon. For this very nice.
Thank you, Sharon. It's my honor, actually. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So there's really a lot more that I could have said about your individual work, but I would rather let you give us a few more details about how you ended up doing what you're doing today and what Making More Health means to you. So it's over to you. We can start with Manuela, and then Marina, you can come in as well after that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And let me share some personal thoughts, mainly because you have already described a little bit my journey. In my early 20s, I became a teacher for adults, and I was always very, very interested to work with people with different cultures, helping, let's say, migrants even to integrate here in Germany and so on. But it was a hard job, I can tell you. So when I became, or when I got my children, for me it was much easier to start a full-time job and definitely also to make sure that my future would look brighter, let's say, than just having this kind of freelancer work. So I joined Boehringer and I did a normal business career. And even if I had that before, I will never work for an industry. I cannot imagine to stay in an office. I have to say these business years for me were very, very exciting, especially in this status of becoming the global lead of internet strategies at a time where this was really at the beginning, and having all these business knowledge, opportunities, traveling, meeting other people. But still, I felt after 12 years, so this was in 97, in 2012, I was still there, but I felt something was missing. Yeah, it was all these excellent business setups. And I was very happy when I got the chance to really take over the lead for the Making More Health initiative, which has started 2 years earlier in 2010. It was something completely new. It was somehow this combination of social and business. I had no clue, I have to say, even less than most of the people here probably today. And but for me, it was like an eye opener. And I have to see, talking to different people with different backgrounds, like NGO people, social enterprises, of course, seeing what other people have done and how they have started it from nothing. Of course, I put myself a little bit in doubt what I was doing. Was it the right thing? And it pushed me, it gave me a lot of energy to go ahead and also to become a change maker. So the big decision now came, should I stay with Boehringer or should I go to an NGO or become a social entrepreneur myself? And I can tell you, this is a question that I continuously ask myself. For me personally, I think we as business people have a huge opportunity at Boehringer Ingelheim to do something from inside outside. We have a lot of networks, we have a lot of power. And I mean, we have also a lot of experts around. So if we do something, and I do not want to say you have to do A or B or C, but I'm just saying within a company like ours, with the power and the network you have and the experts around, we can really create a big movement and make a huge difference outside. And that's why I'm so passionate about making more health. In the last years, in the last 10 years, we have set up, as you said, a social movement inside the company. We have started a lot of co-creation with social enterprises, with communities, farmers, women, students, very poor people, people with albinism, and so on. And it's a great journey. Yeah, and here I stop because I think, Marina, you can join a little bit and add some things.
Thank you for that. Well, first of all, I want to thank the organization team for having me. Isabella, who I know is there in the back somewhere, for your support and for this session and all the sessions I actually attended as a participant for this very same course in previous seasons. Sharon, for your kind guidance on the preparation of this session, and for many others I also attend, holding us hand in hand through this like fantastic social impactful initiatives. And of course, Manuela, for this space you gently provide me with and to share my experience, and for your constant support with such creative South American activations we appear with always. Well, for those who don't know me, my name is Marina Diaz, and I'm the Internal and Corporate Communication Manager for ROPU South America, and also in charge since 2017 for social impact and in the region. So, well, a little bit of my history. I have like more than 20 years of experience in communication, first in the advertising world, always in multinational companies, and then in communications, and then specialized on internal communications. So I think like my passion is, of course, communication, but I guess there are some skills like empathy, or perhaps like some social skills in interrelation with people that really accompany me in this path. So when it comes to spread the voice, not only for my professional background, but actually my inner spirit is to make this contagious spirit grow in the communities I operate in, not only perhaps my family and my friends, but of course the teams I work with in and out the company I perform. So I could say it's been quite a journey since my arrival in BI, like more than 4 years ago. Just to put you in the map, the company had some CSR initiatives, especially developing certain specific seasons or geographies. Also distribute and manage locally in every separate country. As you know, we are a ROPU with 8 countries in our scope. Of course, we had a relationship with Ashoka, I would say, more as a global framework, news from MMH Alliance and some periodic information about Ashoka fellows in the region. But so there was like a vague notion, I would say. from the internal audience point of view of what making more health was, and what this partnership with Ashoka meant, and which collaborations we could kind of face together. And perhaps the first milestone I would like to point out from this learning path I've been experienced, it's almost 3 years ago. We started to strengthen this relation and to build, along with Ashoka offices in the region, of course, a true team of teams, as I know we like to call them now. We learned a lot about the team of teams, and we kind of revamped a virtuous circle of really touching, inspiring, and engaging plans. This collaboration, a strong support from the global team, of course. Many thanks, Manuela, again, and clear, measurable, and feasible objectives allowed us to start thinking on the journey we would like the company to run, and the colleagues to involve in, which was my more important inspiration, if you want. Of course, we started with a plan, but our North Star was always very linked to our business strategy and values. And what do I mean on that? Linked to the purpose as a company to improve lives of humans and animals, linked to our talent development needs and objectives, linked to our values, where especially empathy would make a difference. And that's where my personal North Star is there again. Linked to our motto to add value through innovation, and of course linked to the impact for the company in terms of reputation, retention, talent retention, customer focus, etc. And of course link on the impact we pursue in the societies we operate in terms of diversity, inclusion, environment, access to health, and many etc. as I could think. So in this sense, we built a strong plan with 3 main pillars from the beginning. That would say awareness on what we all are doing within the Alliance, collaboration, and innovation. The structure is a series of well-defined KPIs we want to achieve in each stage. I could dig in on each of them, but perhaps later in our conversation. But what I really wanted to point out here is that this structured plan helps us not only to raise awareness in our people about the Making More Health Alliance, but also get them naturally involved in them. Deriving in a more than 120 change maker community we had set up here in the region as an example, but also open a wide door of opportunities. We can link it to the open up possibilities, which was our BTI motto this year for everybody. Many learnings, many experiences, many people, functions, teams involved, a journey that here in the RAPO is evolving and is showing us how to navigate, influence, and even sometimes solicit some support to address and spread this inspired passion of improving health in our internal family and within our communities, of course.
Fantastic. We definitely want to hear more about that. Thank you both for sharing part of your background. Manuela, I like how you mentioned that you keep re-evaluating and assessing, where you can have the most impact, right? Is it inside the organization? Is it as a social entrepreneur? Is it joining the NGO sector? So I think it's a very key aspect of having impact, right? Where are you best positioned? And I think it's something that as all of us who are learning, we can actually take that as well and say, we need to do a constant assessment of where we are and how we can best maximize on the tools that we have available. And Marina, I really like the fact that you mentioned that the passion you have, which you're spreading, is really coming from the inside. It's something that's driving you internally. And it's really good to share that from a personal perspective as well. I think most people just do some of these things as a job. And I think when it comes to creating change and making impact, it really has to be something that begins on the inside. Yeah. So we're definitely going to dive into just some deeper aspects of what you've been sharing. But I know we already also have some questions coming in from the learners who are watching live on the platform. And I hope we will definitely get to all of those in the short time that we have. But before we go any further, I just want to ask everyone who's watching us to click on the button at the bottom of the page and answer yes to the survey question to indicate that you're watching us live so that you can be allocated the additional points for that. Remember, we're getting to the end of the course, so every point counts. So Marina, can you tell us a little bit more about how, in tangible and concrete ways, Making More Health is creating impact in your region and how you're connecting not just the fellows, but also employees across the various BI offices and activating them as co-creators and change makers as well?
Yeah, sure. We have like many examples in our region because this strong collaboration I mentioned enabled us to spread social entrepreneurship involvement in well, I could say a lot of activities, but employee engagement, the change maker community, also the talent involvement and development, of course. The sustainable development for generation frameworks also, and also having like fellows and inspirational speakers and new fellow nominations. It kind of actually opened a wide door for initiatives. As you know, as I mentioned, we started with a very strong awareness pillar, which was not all calendarized. So we first make awareness, and then we make collaboration, and then we move to innovation. We kind of do it all together, but we actually did realize that we need this awareness pillar to be very strong. So we made a comprehensive, of course, communication in every step we make during this journey. So people could be involved in all the activities, even with trivias in our internal Instagram, building a dedicated space in my BI so everyone can access the materials, the initiative, the courses anytime they wanted. And we make, of course, COVID pandemic also accelerated this volunteering offers, of course, but that was because from the internal point of view, we already had some surveys and polls on how people felt. So that was again linked to the business and linked to the in this case human resources activities. What we were measuring how people, if they were worried, if they were afraid, and a very large percentage of the people answered that they were eager to help, eager to collaborate, and that was a very strong trigger for us to so let's put together the Making More Health community and offer people where can they help in this situation. So it's constantly linked to every, I don't know if every, but several areas of our business and our company to collaborate on what we're doing. So we actually created this change maker community. We make a lot of special actions for them, but not only doing them, but also telling the rest of the people that we were doing that. So change maker assessments on to find out where we were and our path to become change makers. The intention was to make them feel part of something bigger, especially with virtual gatherings, just with them to share expectations, to co-create, to challenge the status quo if you want, but within a safe and healthy framework. a lot of Ashoka fellows, Making More Health fellows, but also Ashoka fellows that are not from the Making More Health Alliance. We organize webinars with them with different topics. We make some fail and learn webinars with duets. I mean, a fellow and a BA leader to go through this journey of failing. It's not always bad, but we can learn a lot, and innovation and co-creation arise from that. We make some also empathy, emotion management, and new leadership webinars to also strengthen these change maker skills that we want to enhance in our community, to foster not only the culture of belonging, but also strengthen this community. And actually this changemaker community is kind of evolving. We co-created together with them. It was their idea. The ERGs, which is employee resource groups organizations. So we are now launching, and we've been co-creating the launch in the past 6 months, and now we are launching and prepared to launch the 3 ERGs for our region: social impact, innovation, and belonging. But a part of this, perhaps a specific Making More Health actions, and then I can share with the whole audience a video with our journey all the last year and the beginning of this one. But actually, this co-creation and this several areas involving on our conversations actually opened the possibility to use this inspiring speakers, if you want, in many activities within the company, like the talent development conversation, the workshops within areas that needed a specific topic, like, I don't know, psychological safety, manage of grief, or wherever, especially in these times. Special days, because we had like fellows invited for, I don't know, the World Youth Day last year, the Women in Technology in this year. So as you can see, many of our core strategy pillars are involving in our relationship with the alliance.
Wow, it sounds so interesting. I think there's so many moving parts and so many interesting bits and pieces that you're, managing to pull together somehow. I just want to move to a question that we have from one of our learners. And Manuela, I'd like you to answer this. I know you've worked with a lot of different people from different countries and diverse backgrounds. So we have a question from Yinka in Nigeria, who's asking, in your opinion, what is the most challenging aspect of being a social entrepreneur, especially if you are in an entry-level role? And what is your advice to overcome some of the resistance and challenges that you might face?
The role as a social entrepreneur or a future social entrepreneur.
Yeah.
In the role as a social entrepreneur, and now we are really talking about someone who's not working inside a company, but who really sets up his own social enterprise. I would say the biggest challenge. Is this a question?
Sorry, I think the question was about social entrepreneur. So as someone who is within,
I was just wondering a little bit. I think the one of the biggest challenges are yourself. It's you, because let me explain this a little bit. So we all have grown up in a certain culture with a certain education. We have certain people who are our friends with similar opinions, discussion points at a very similar level. We have been trained at university how certain things have to be done. We follow certain processes, and all this just makes your horizon a little smaller, let's say. It's not bad, but you don't see anymore the holistic picture. And if you still see that and you arrive at a company like Boehringer at the age of 28, 30, probably you will see, and you come up with some disruptive ideas that people will say, oh, maybe you are too young, or you are too old, you are not an expert enough, maybe we do it next year, it's not in our plans, we have no time for this, we have no budget for this. So they will let you know somehow it's not the right thing to do, because I feel it is something that is not normal. So these idea killers are very common, and it's not easy to overcome that. So my hint here, or my tip would be, whenever you have an idea that goes a little bit beyond your daily business on how you do things, don't ask one supervisor and ask him, can I do that or not? But try rather to find 2-3 peers, and if possible, even from other functions. And then you do this proposal to 2 or 3 supervisors at the same moment, because this psychologically will already help that you don't get just this, no, there is no time, there is no budget. Probably they will say, you can try that out, look a little bit into that and come back. So the first door is already opened, and you have to think a little bit on how you do the things that you want to do. So really take these, Marina, you have mentioned the change maker skills, and I think this is one of the skills, that you find some peers, that you create the right environment where your small plant can grow. A second big challenge is, of course, because probably you are passionate about your idea. So you have identified something and you want to help a certain target group, let's say the homeless people, or the children who have no nutrition, or the diabetic patients, or whatever it is. So you're very passionate. And while you are very passionate, sometimes definitely you want the best. This is also in our culture, in the business. Yeah, we are trained that everything has to be perfect, the best. So you write your proposals, the slides have to be fantastic, you do alignment meetings and so on. And it has a small disadvantage, which means it's getting mostly very costly. So you need a lot of money, and you need a lot even of other resources, because if your plans are perfect, they are big and they cost a lot. So if you come up with this proposal, also the probability that people will say no, it's very high. So it's much easier to start small and to grow big. And this starting small is a very small activity, but make sure that short-term wise, it's a success, because business people think very short-term. Yeah, every year we have our reports, our calculations. Business is a topic that is short-term thinkers, and we are used to that. So if you do something, start small, do something that is visible, tangible, short-term. If it's successful, then you can already show something, and this will help you in a second step to open the doors. And I think while you go with a minimum viable product, you will be very, very successful. You can already develop in your minds, of course, also a long-term perspective, a vision, a mission, where you want to be and where you want to go. But you cannot start with this big vision right at the beginning, because we have these fixed procedures, processes, thinking formats. And you have to imagine that, and if people talk about innovation, yes, we are innovative. We like innovative as long as nothing changes. Yeah, because when things start to change, we get scared about it, because we don't know if we are still safe and secure. And so just look at it also from the eyes of the supervisors or the other people you have to convince, and make them owners, make them part of your projects instead. Yeah, give them a small role or a bigger role, or ask them for help in a certain part. These are all these small things that will help you to overcome the challenges, and really to bring in social entrepreneurial spirit into your company. And then when you have created that, these supervisors and all these people who have these influence will help you, and you will see it's getting then bigger, and you get more money and you get more resources, and this is how you have to start, from my experience. Yeah.
That's so good, Manuela. I think there are quite a lot of good takeaways and nuggets that Yinka can draw from that. And I really love the point you made about, you know, starting small. We are discussing minimum viable products. We have discussed that in one of the modules, and it's really important to start small. As you're saying, many of us want to bite off more than we can chew. But I think as well, just coming back to the first point you made about education, it reminded me about a conversation that I was also having this week about how sometimes our education is so good that it educates the creativity out of us, and it makes us so disciplined and so, you know, we color within the lines and we want to do everything right. But as you said, it can hinder our change making. It can hinder our creativity. So I think it's important to, as you said, be self-aware and to know yourself and to know what the potential weaknesses are that you possess, which can actually stop you from becoming a social entrepreneur. So thank you very much for sharing that. So I just want to move on to co-creation. That's been the focus of our last couple of modules. And the learners that are watching today have been looking at some of the different co-creation projects that BI is championing with Ashoka and social entrepreneurs, such as Ciel Bleu and Cow Tribe. So clearly this goes beyond just traditional corporate social responsibility, which is what most companies do. So why is BI at the corporate level interested in these kind of co-creation projects? What's in it for the business? Manuela, maybe we'll start with you, and Marina, you can come in as well.
Yeah, I think there are different things in for BI. First of all, you know, we have these executive and residence program, for example, where employees go for a certain time and stay with a social enterprise on the ground. In the past year, this was not possible, but normally they would stay for up to 3 months with a social enterprise. What do these leaders learn? They learn to act in a very different environment. Yeah, they learn also maybe to become even more agile, because if you stay with a small startup or social enterprise, you cannot just look at your own function or your own thinking. You have to look much more into the holistic setup. And you also meet a lot of different situations that you normally don't meet when you sit in the office. So let's say Cow Tribe, for example, if you go to Ghana and you meet these farmers, it's not just that you help Cow Tribe with whatever kind of communications plan or business model, but you learn a lot while you talk to the farmers and you see how they live, how it smells, what they eat, what they cannot afford, why maybe it would be easy for us from the office to say, just go and pick it up. But if they do not even have the 20 cents to take a motor ride to pick it up, even if they have the €1 to pick up the seeds, it's difficult. So our leaders learn a lot how the reality looks, normally also in environments where we have no business. And you know, we all are looking also into new markets. And if we talk about markets, we talk always about existing markets at a very high level where business is possible. We don't talk about all these 100,000, millions of people who are not participating in our markets. Boehringer is interested also to explore new markets. But before definitely we can do business in such kind of not existing markets, now we have to prepare them. So there is also a business case. It's not just a leadership development, it's also a kind of exploring how do we need to act, how do we need to contribute, how do we need with social entrepreneurs prepare the market that maybe in 10 years from now the situation might look different. And this trust building with the people, this really being exposed to different mindsets, this also is, of course, a big learning. So, and then, of course, it has also a benefit in terms of reputation for the company. And it attracts a lot of talents, by the way. It's not just talent development. We have a lot of people who had an opportunity to work, let's say, even for a competitor at a similar job offer. They decided for BI and they told us, yes, we did that because of Making More Health. We like the spirit. We like to have this possibility to develop ourselves as personality as well. So there are many different, I would say, benefits from having these co-creations. Besides, of course, the main co-creation that I did not even mention is to help the social entrepreneur to grow, to scale up, and to help while doing this, of course, also the communities, the social enterprise is working with. I did not talk about it because I think this is the first thing that comes to someone's mind when we talk about that.
Great. You mentioned the aspect of trust building, and that sounds familiar because it's something that our speaker for Module 4, who's Cleophas Chasoli, was also, quite emphatic about. And I know that you're working closely with him, and he was so inspiring for all of us. I think we were all quite deeply touched by the work that he's doing. So can you tell us a little bit more about your collaboration with him and what you're doing in Kenya right now?
Okay. Yeah, so just imagine I got the task in 2017, I think, to go to Kenya because I had built a lot of projects in India with communities. And I was asked, go to Kenya and do a similar setup for community work. So now just imagine someone knocks at your door. You are in Kenya, you are one of the farmers. Someone knocks at your door and says, it's me, Manuela. I'm from Birmingham, England. I want to work with you. What would be your reaction? Your reaction would be, very nice, Manuela, but maybe it's better I close my door because this is really, really strange. Yeah. So what I did was really, and it took a little bit of time to identify the right local partner. So I really had a lot of conversations with different NGOs, with different, let's say, also local stakeholders, governments, governors, where it was possible, teachers, nurses, midwives, doctors. I visited a lot of such kind of organizations before really. I also, for myself, I was convinced I found a person who also got the right spirit, because it's not just that you knock at the door of an NGO and they open it and say, oh, now we do together with you a social entrepreneurial initiative. Many NGOs, as also many businesses, are still very traditional in how they act. So as the normal CSR in business, you have an NGO, in the NGOs, normally the expectations that they would just get some money from you and then write you a nice report what they have done with the money. But this is not what we were looking at. We wanted really to co-create. So I met on my way, I met Cleophas, and together with Cleophas, I think within a 1.5 year, really, we were able to set up a lot. And I have to say, Cleophas had already, before Birmingham Making More Health came in, he had already founded self-help groups, for example. So with the locals around, him being a local, he had already set up a network, a trusted network. So for me, it was much easier to build on that. And but still, having the self-help groups, having also the farmer cooperatives and so on, they looked at me a little bit. Who is she? What does she want? And again and again, also now when we run trainings, we engage employees. The first thing I tell the employees, it's not that you train them, first of all, let's say basic business skills or soap making or whatever the communities need. Don't just go to them or virtually contact with them and start your training, A, B, C, D, but build trust. These people, and it would be the same with us, it's not a difference of education or culture, but if someone you don't know comes and just starts to teach you, and I say, what is this guy? Especially if he comes from a different culture, different background, from a big business, just imagine. So together with Cleophas, I think, and even also with all the employees who are engaging now, we try first to understand and to listen to the people, what they really want, what they really need, build a human relationship with them. And then people will start to talk about the real challenges they have in life. You know, it took me, I think, even in India, it took me more than a year before they really opened the door, that they showed me the disabled children they had behind the door, or the big issues. Before they came, they sat and they nodded their heads. They said, yes, yes, nice, nice. But I mean, it's not about doing this, it's about really helping them that they can empower themselves. So do it with the people, and for doing something with the people and not just for the people, you have to build this kind of trusted relationship. And yeah, so with Cleophas, we are doing water projects, we are doing training on basic business skills, we are training digital skills, we are doing a lot of health trainings with employees. We engage with social enterprises on the ground, because our farmers, our women have no income, especially now in COVID time. So we have to help them not just on health trainings and saying you need a soap, but we also show them on how to make a soap, but again also on how to create other income opportunities. And there we have identified with Ashoka, oh wow, there are 2 Ashoka guys. They are in hydroponic farming and in water collection and in water purification. Let's bring them in. Let's train, and together with them, let's train our people. So it's like bringing together, in a puzzle piece, based on the needs of the community, the right stakeholders. And again, involving as many people as possible, even from the local background. The local governor, if he does not like it, you can forget it. If the local NGO doesn't feel okay with it, they will not support you, and then you are lost. And the same is even if the social enterprises don't feel that you create a win for them, and that they are also trusted, it's also in vain to do that. So trust is key for everything. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. And some of what you're saying, I think, brings us to the issue of systems change, and the fact that, you actually do need to create that network of people who are embedded in the local system, and finding ways where you can, have the entry points at different levels. You've mentioned government and so on. So we know that there are different levels of systems change that someone can aim for as an entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur. So can you just briefly tell us perhaps about some interventions or projects that have specifically had that systems change thinking as one of the core objectives? And maybe you can share some of your learnings around systems change at a very practical level.
Yeah, so let me tell you a story. Just imagine again, there is a farmer woman, her name is Mary. She gets up in the morning very early, she has no water. So she has to go to a river, she's fetching some water. The water is not really good quality, full of bacteria. Little later, she has to bring her child to the school, but the school is far away and she has no money. She cannot even give a little bit of snack to the child. She might not have light, power. She might not have the possibility to find a daily job. If she finds a daily job, she does not know what to do with the baby. She has maybe also some family issue because she has old parents, or she has some disabled person, handicapped person somewhere. So what we have done in the past very often, and I had a chance to talk to many NGOs and even business, we have just seen one issue. Let's say, oh, the water is not drinkable, so we have to find a solution for that. Or we do a screening for diabetes, because diabetes is there for sure, it's a big issue. Yeah. And then one business or one sponsor or one donator has given a lot of money to tackle this issue, but this does not really help in a sustainable way. You have to look at the whole system. You have to understand that health depends on wealth, on income generation. It depends also on infrastructures. So if you have no wash basins, no toilet at the schools, and you have no soaps, how can you do the hygiene practices that maybe your mom or you have learned at school? It's not possible. So it's health, wealth, infrastructure, and it's education also at a broader level. And as in the last years, we really understood this well, that all the single activities that we were doing, we had to link them up, and we had to make sure that in all these 4 areas that I have mentioned, we need in parallel solutions. It became very clear that this kind of system we were talking about was something we could not even solve ourselves. I mean, even a company like Boehringer cannot solve all of it, because we are not in solar energy, we are not in let's say education of other topic than health. And even if I talk about health, Boehringer is good in certain health topics, but we are not covering the whole health areas. And the same is also with the social enterprises. We have fantastic social enterprises, but they have also this one solution shop, let's say, yeah, that they offer in a very good way. Now I think it's the time, it's really the era where we have to rethink how we do developmental work. If I can use this word, I mean, develop, it means always, where do we develop to? Yeah, we are not the luckiest and the happiest one, but beside the fact that we really want to develop the system, we have to open up, we have really to put together like a puzzle, the different players, the different solutions, and to connect it, to really be able to change a system long-term wise, and to offer these people like Mary, the farmer women, not just a drinkable water in the morning, but then she has no nutrition and she cannot pay the school fees. So it has to be something where at least the basics every one of us needs are tackled. And this is what we mean when we talk about system change. And this is also the reason why we say making more health is not just saying, this is my baby, and here we have 5 social enterprises and together we are the best, but we say, we share and we ask others to join us, to come in with their ideas, and even to bring in what we cannot offer. And yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, you make such an important point, Manuela, about the need to approach systems change with humility and knowing that you aren't the be all and end all. There isn't one solution. There's no one silver bullet to solve every problem, and it's really important for the various actors and institutions to actually work together as a system themselves to tackle some of these issues. So I think that's so critical. Marina, I want to throw a question to you from our learners. Many of the BI
I'm sorry. I lost my internet for a while. Sorry, the whole building. Yeah. That's happens. Sorry.
It does happen. We're glad to have you back. So, as someone who has been through this course, you've taken some learnings from it, I'm sure, and applied them to your work. So, a lot of BI participants that are in Canada and different parts of Europe and Africa are asking, how can we get more involved in making more health? What can we do coming out of this course to implement some of the ideas that we have?
Okay, I was just listening in the first half before my disconnection, what Manuela was saying on some of the initiatives like executive in residence, etc., and it came again the empathy concept to my mind. So perhaps a little piece of advice could be like keep your mind open and listen and learn of all the contexts in the company, outside the company, of course, in your daily basis. But if I could share some of my experiences, involve cross-functional colleagues. Of course, get in touch with a person responsible of the topic in your ROPU or OPU. Contact the Ashoka local offices in your geographies. Get in touch with the Making More Health network. There is always very interesting, not only initiative, but also discussions over topics which nourish your listen capability, and that raise a lot of very, very well big ideas. Gather a team and get a sponsor, an internal sponsor, and I'm not speaking only on the ability of influencing that person has, which is not always very absolutely linked to the position in the org chat, but yes, in the change maker capabilities, what you are desiring to evolve in. and you can't imagine how many inspirational stories and good ideas are out there and in here to light our individual and collective social impact fire, if you want to say. But there's ideas, there's volunteer out there, and you just need to be humble and smart enough to gather them together.
Absolutely. Thanks for those words of wisdom, Marina. And one thing we also always emphasize on the course is just the importance of networking, and the fact that you're in this community right now with people from all over the world that you normally would never have met. It's a great opportunity to actually link up with people and make connections beyond just this course platform. So I think it's such a key part of creating that community for further change making going forward. So as we are getting to the end of our time almost, I just want to find out from both of you, what is your vision for the future of the Making More Health Partnership, where you are, and what are you looking forward to the most? And particularly in light of the changes that have come about as a result of this COVID-19 pandemic, what are you seeing as the trends outside and within BI and Making More Health as well? Maybe we can start with Manuela.
Yeah, we good question. Definitely, I think the way we have started is the right way, even for the future. What we have seen is that this systemic approach helped, even right now, after a few years, to, for example, spread a lot of knowledge, a lot of abilities in the communities, just because we have started to taught it in one place. But the communities were connected. So social enterprises helped us someone brought in a flyer, and then we could use it in many different communities. One community had learned on how to produce soap, and they taught other communities. A local NGO from West Kenya was connected even to a partner that was not our partner in Nairobi, and even this partner in Nairobi started. We have also a platform set up where all these materials are available for free, so they can be downloaded even in other countries, and we have seen that this starts to work out. So I think having this open platforms, this really good infrastructure, having here as also as you said in the social entrepreneurship course, you have all the people who could help you to spread out your ideas and even then to start it somewhere else. I would wish that some of the people here in our course, I mean, they cannot all come to Germany, or they cannot come all to Kenya or to Argentina now and helping us. But what you definitely can do is where you are, start your Making More Health. Start to think, what are the biggest needs? Find one target group where you say, I want to start out of this community. Could be women, could be children, could be homeless people, whatever it is. Focus on it, listen what really makes their day, how it looks, and then maybe you develop a small solution. You can use materials, you can use the spirit, and then maybe we can also connect, because the solutions and then the way on how things are done, I would say, are the same in India and in Kenya. This is what definitely we can share. I'm not saying I'm just sharing with you, you might share also with me, because we are looking also for these inputs. Yeah, and I think this is this kind of network character I would like to look for, and I really wish that you have the energy to start in your local unit, and then maybe reach out to us and we see what we can combine. And you never know, maybe I know someone who knows someone, and this guy is the one who helps you. Yeah,
definitely. Marina, do you have any thoughts on that as well?
No, actually, all Manuela said is the whole, like this whole comprehensive platform that we have available in the MMH network actually opens up those possibilities to spread the VA passion, which is improving health. So ever you find it in your local community, or you light up an idea, reading something in the MMH network, it's always possible to add value to this purpose, comprehensive purpose we have.
Right. And speaking of adding value, do you feel like this moment that we're in with COVID-19 is emphasizing the need for more social entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs to come up? Do you think it's an opportunity that they can really take hold of?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We actually experienced that in the region, but because the whole context, kind of raise up the volunteering spirit of our people, the eager to collaborate, and also this change in the working modality and in the interaction, also social interaction and the technology. And if you let me talk, I can talk a lot, but also this sustainable development framework that arose for BI now, and the customer centric approach we want to enhance and it also goes hand in hand with making more health most important values and pillars also, because you actually co-create, collaborate, listen, and raise empathy with the community's issues. So we are all in the same boat, and COVID absolutely strengthens that up.
I mean, if you look at the world outside, it does not look really good. And if we continue to do as we did in the past, we will just get what we got in the past, and it will get worse. So we have to do different things, and we have to do the things in a different way. And I think the social entrepreneurs bring in exactly this kind of think differently and do things differently. And therefore, I think the social enterprises nowadays are even much more important than maybe we have thought before COVID-19.
Yeah, that's quite right. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We just have a little bit of time left for maybe some final words of advice from you both for our learners, especially as well those that may perhaps not be part of BI, but they're working in the broader field of healthcare in the various regions and spheres of influence. What would you say to them about their next steps as well? We can start with Marina, maybe.
I guess I already said my voice on that, but listen, have empathy, be always with an open mind, and gather a team of same inspiration, and try to walk this path in the terms of the business allows. So not always I'm not only talking about the compliance issues, but try to get in the wave of the business to actually can gather different volunteers and cross-functional colleagues to make your MVP, your viable product, and to be feasible to grow. So think big but act step by step, baby steps, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and maybe as a last thought, I can add. So what I would do if I would not work for Boeing and I would be somewhere in a country now, more alone, let's say, isolated. If you already know where your passion is, and even if you don't know where your passion is, I would have a look at the social enterprises, what they are doing, just to get inspiration. And then hopefully, and I'm pretty sure you find your topic. And then I would not reinvent the wheel, but rather connect with such kind of social enterprise. This does not mean that you have to work for them, but give them a call. Maybe you get some ideas how you can start in your location, even without or little money or money, for example, only. But I would build a relationship first. So identify your passion, your topic, build a relationship, get an idea, and then just start small. And you will see, I think it's really a good start. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it really
I
is.
wish you all the best.
What's important, as you said earlier, absolutely. I think, as you mentioned earlier, it's important to just start, right? Don't worry too much what will happen later on. Just start where you are and see what happens from there.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, unfortunately, our time has run out and we've come to the end of this power-packed webinar. I think we actually needed twice as much time today as we normally have, just to get through all the great experiences and stories that you both bring to the table. But we just want to appreciate you for taking the time to join us as our final guest experts for this course. So Manuela and Marina, thank you so much.
Very
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you.
Thanks to
And
you.
thank you so much. And for the rest of you who are watching, I strongly encourage you to catch up with all the material and particularly the assignments, as I've mentioned before, if you haven't done so already. And in fact, if I were you, I would actually replay this particular webinar. I think there's so many great takeaways that you can actually make note of and start implementing as you go forward. So as we come to the end of the course, I don't want you to panic. The course platform will remain open for another month up to June 25. I know some of you haven't had time to keep up with everything. So you do have a little bit more time to complete all the modules and to earn your certificate. And remember, you need a minimum of 100 points to qualify for the certificates, and 130 points earns you a certificate of distinction, plus a letter signed by Ashoka's founder and CEO, Bill Drayton. So that'll be quite special. If you have any questions or concerns about that, you can always reach out to the course team as usual, and we'll be more than happy to help you with that. There will also be a final survey sent to you next week that you need to complete before June the 25th as well. So as we end, make sure you read the section of this particular week's module, Module 6, that tells you about some of the next steps that you can take and the resources that are available to you. There are so many ways of moving forward. There is no excuse for not doing something as you finish this course. And also take some time to share your reflections in the discussion forums. And of course, to connect with other learners as we keep emphasizing connect, connect, connect. Even beyond the course platform, there's so much that can happen when we come together as change makers. And also, just to let you know that we do want to stay updated on any projects and initiatives that may come out of this course or anything that you've learned from this course. So please feel free to update us as time goes on. So that's all from myself and the rest of the course team. Well done for the outstanding effort you've been putting into the course so far. We wish you all the very best. Goodbye.